Yep, think we're live in that. Yep, we're live. So, yeah, here
We
I
are
am.
live.
Yeah, me and the captain just talking about a subject that the captain brought up and that he wants to like have a bit of a rant on in that, I reckon. So, like I'll
A
let
rant on.
yeah, well, yeah, you just like sent me a DM saying Scotty's a soy cunt. He's a lying soy-neck bitch. Fucking start a stream up. I've got
Phrasing,
a
is
topic.
that literally how I phrased it?
Yeah.
Don't
Oh yeah,
believe. Is
Captain,
that
take it
really? Did
away.
I say sorry cunt? Yeah. Well, now you said rant, I'm just going to say it very calmly. It's a bit like when I caught Robert Meyer Burnett lying about what Ridley Scott said. I've now caught Scotty lying about what I said and what he said, but we don't want to give them too much attention even for lying, even for a negative. But why lie? Both Robert Meyer Burnett and Scotty, why lie and why lie so lazily? I don't have the lie in front of me. You might have it as a graphic or even the thumbnail. But Scotty's well, first of all, let's address the soy nerd bitch. I mean, at least Robert Meyer Burnett has got the balls to argue with me, albeit in the comments section of his video. Scotty blocks me. I don't block him. I give him free access to my chats, my tweets. So Scotty basically leaves a comment, a lie at that, leaves a comment, and then runs away back behind his block. So I'm unable to leave comments on his Twitter feed. So that's a double standard. So
Yeah,
sheer double
pussy,
standard.
soy-neck
So
bitches.
Scotty, yeah, exactly. Scotty is demonstrably a double standard loving hypocrite and a soy nerd bitch because he sees fit to tell lies on my Twitter feed, but he won't allow me to tell the truth on his Twitter feed. It's a bit of a downturn. I've been trying to give Scotty his dues and compliment basically, and to compliment him on his insights into pop culture. So Scotty is really going down the pan in my estimation, if not in actual reality, going from wishing death upon me, cancer, and now telling lies. So, but about it. So yeah, Scotty claiming in his lie on my Twitter feed, which I can't reciprocate with, too, that I'm bringing up a topic already griping. There's your first lie. Oh, when you're discussing something, Scotty, it's conversation. When I offer a rebuttal, it's griping. That's a very basic bit of slander right there. Very extreme, skewed bit of spin there. Oh yeah, it's not griping when you do it, Scotty, is it? So, and indeed, claiming that we're having a conversation or I'm griping about something that was resolved 4 years ago. That's a very basic and easily dismissed lie because I didn't have a channel 4 years ago. Well, it's 4 years ago. This would have been year 5 of my channel. I began a channel about 4 years ago. I actually started my YouTube broadcasting life by being the co-host and permanent guest, permanent until it wasn't, with the late Gil Bavell, aka Cardinal Sin. Because indeed, when Cardinal Sin started the channel, who was his first choice of first mate? Was it Scotty? No. Was it Jill? Was it Fuck? Was it Canadian Stephen Man? No, it was me. It was me. And then I started broadcasting after that with Mr. Brown. And that, I think you'll find, history fans, that was 4 years ago. The first year was 2021, pretty easy to remember, a nice calendar coincidence. The second year of broadcasting, 2022, third year, 2023. The fourth year would have been 2024, but obviously I lost my channel and it ended up bootlicking Jens's channel. That's Suzanne's spin on it. So now we're beginning year 5. So Scotty's basic claim that we completed a conversation 4 years ago is demonstrably bullshit because we only would have begun a conversation 4 years ago. That's how lazy Scotty is with his lying.
Yeah.
So, dates aside, Scotty's claim that I'm indeed griping, commenting on a comment or a conversation finished 4 years ago. No, I think you'll find demonstrably Scotty brought up or continued the topic 2 days ago. 2 days, not 4 years, Scotty. 2 days ago, Scotty brought up or brought up, reignited the topic a very similar tune on the Cinema Drunk channel and specifically mentioned me. He's copied, well, no, I was about to say copied Phony Snark. No, must have any copying going on. Must be the other way around. Phony Snark of Soy must have copied Scotty's idea of mentioning me specifically, but not daring to mention my name. Because indeed, it was Canadian Stephen Man that brought up the question in Superman the movie, what was up with the time travel? As soon as you say those two words, time travel, Scotty, if he's not thinking of me already, is definitely going to have me manifested in his mind. But of course, Scotty doesn't have the balls to mention me by name. So he said, unlike some people, I'm open to interpretation. So that is Scotty
Unlike some people,
talking
I prefer
about me
cupcakes better.
2 days ago. So he's
Yeah.
continuing a conversation 2 days ago. That's hardly finishing one 4 years ago. So
Well,
that's before we get on to what the topic is. Let's say basically that Scotty demonstrably lying and demonstrably hiding behind the block, demonstrably a soy nerd bitch. Any questions at this point while I pour my coffee? No?
Yeah.
No questions?
Well, my question is that when Superman goes spinning the axes back reversal, it would just make gravity cease, and then everyone would just float off and die instead of going. Now, even though I don't think a dude can fly, but if he could fly, he could not turn back time in that manner.
Absolutely right. That is not realistic, even for a for a Superman movie. Of course, if Scotty was here, that's what he'd be saying. Oh, but you're believing a man could fly. Exactly. There's limits to verisimilitude. Indeed, that was the tagline for the poster for the movie, wasn't it? You'll believe a man can fly. I will believe a man can fly, but I won't believe that turning the Earth and spinning it the other way will magically turn back time. I'd be more likely to believe that Superman hopped into a DeLorean. So, quite right. But that's even. But see, I don't mind. Maybe he should have added DeLorean because I don't mind time travel. Well, do I mind time travel in the Superman movie? Certainly seems to be unnecessary. He's a superhero. He's not a time traveler. Stick to Star Trek and Doctor Who, and indeed Back to the Future. So yeah, good point. I don't actually want any time travel in my Superman movie. What next? Time travel in Indiana Jones? But even before we get to the time travel, this is the whole thing. There's so many topics, so we've got to get through the fact that Scotty is a soy nerd bitch, covered that. Scotty is a liar, covered that. And then on to the topic, nestled in between Scotty is a liar and how realistic is the time travel in Superman the movie, is just the basic question of verisimilitude. How realistic is anything? How realistic is a machine gun in Band of Brothers? And Scotty seems to have this stupid idea that nothing needs to be believable in a movie because it's a movie. The most basic conversation you can have about watching movies and indeed TV shows or indeed reading books and comic books. No, I think you'll find, Scotty, that because of suspension of disbelief, because we know a movie is a work of fiction, because of course all movies, as Catherine tells us, all movies are a work of fiction, even those based on a true story. Some people have a hard time believing the lack of historical verisimilitude in Inglorious Bastards. Oh, that hair, can we say his name? That guy with the mustache from Austria. He didn't die in a cinema in Paris. He's living up in Brazil. Inglorious Bastards twists itself from actual history. Well, so does Saving Private Ryan. It's just degrees of realism, or indeed degrees of historical verisimilitude. Saving Private Ryan is no more or less realistic than Inglorious Bastards. They're both works of fiction. Some people think that Saving Private Ryan is based on a true story. It isn't. It's completely made up. Now, you
Yeah.
could say Band of Brothers, that is based on a true story, but they did amalgamate certain characters. They got rid of certain characters and they told lies about other characters. So, Band of Brothers may be based on a true story, but that is also a work of fiction. It is not a documentary.
Yeah.
And then Scotty then made the distinction between historical movies, or indeed, I didn't hear the whole thing. I like to hear from Scotty, but I was too busy writing or didn't hear the whole thing. Anyway, that's Superman. Oh, wow, it's a movie about a guy in red pants flying. As if that removes the need for verisimilitude. No, I think you're quite wrong, Scotty. Because it's fantastical, because it's a superhero movie, just like Star Trek is space fantasy with your beaming up and your beaming down, your transmogrification and your holodeck and your transporter and your energizer and of course your time travel, none of which are real. Your teleportation, that's not real. It never will be real, in spite of whatever bollocks Jill might tell you, clearly clueless about physics. So you're warping. It's a space fantasy. It's not even science fiction. And it's certainly not a documentary. But that's the point. I can and will happily suspend my disbelief for Superman, Star Trek, and Star Wars, because I like to enjoy myself watching movies, not going, oh, the physics isn't very realistic in that. There are channels that will do that, like Mauler, and they're welcome to do so. But I'm actually on the side of suspending my disbelief. But you need to suspend more disbelief for Star Trek, Star Wars, and Superman than you do for Band of Brothers, because indeed it features people, aliens, and spaceships, all of whom can somehow fly. And indeed, Richard Donner, the director of Superman the movie, carried around a sign with a picture of Superman and one word, verisimilitude, because he understood that if you're going to believe the movie, if you're going to enjoy the movie, if you're going to pay money to watch the movie, you will indeed have to believe a man can fly. An alien man, but a man all the same. Hence, Richard Donner, the director of Superman, walking around the whole time with a big sign with Superman on it, one word, verisimilitude. So how about that, Scotty? So you can stick your "it's just a movie" where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Scotty doesn't care about Superman. He's more into his She-Hulk, isn't he?
Get a She-Hulk, a woman lawyer already stretching plausibility, a successful female lawyer. Oh, sexist. A successful female lawyer that got a blood transfusion, although another lie Scotty tells, it's not actually the same as the comics. But anyway, turns into, when she gets angry, turns into a massive green creature, thus giving Scotty a boner.
He's fucking
And indeed,
green with me.
yeah. So Scotty loves to suspend his disbelief and then dismisses the idea. I think Scotty likes to hold inconsistent opinions just to see if anyone's paying attention. Well, I am, Scotty, and you've been found guilty of consistently bullshitting.
Yeah. Ah, well, he's a pretty, he's a pretty boy, isn't he? He's used to fucking being able to bullshit
Well, he's a
people.
pretty boy without the looks. He's got the brains of a pretty boy, not the
Well,
looks.
well, they're like he's still got them, but they're not as effective as the was when he was in his early 20s and that.
Maybe getting his teeth fixed made Scotty stupider. Who knows?
Oh well, fluoride. If they put a lot of fluoride in his mouth, then yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Mm.
But that's why, presumably, that's why Robert Meyer Burnett, who gives himself a lot of titles, quite a few appellations, but among other titles, calls himself the Viceroy of Verisimilitude. So at least Robert Meyer Burnett understands that indeed a movie has to have verisimilitude. Otherwise, we're not gonna watch that motherfucker.
Mm. I'm talking about watching motherfucking things. You always bring up the thing that Scotty said.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, because I was like a bit busy earlier on when you needed it bringing up. I can bring it up now, though.
Very good.
In a sec.
Oh, weather's turning. Mmm.
Here
That
we
is
go.
damn fine coffee.
Bit. There we go.
That's better. All right. There we go. So, yeah, there's the lie. I resolved that conversation 4 years ago. That's demonstrably a lie because we only started our YouTube journey 4 years ago. And you haven't resolved anything because no cunt agrees with you, Scotty. So it's just lies upon lies upon lies. You
Yeah.
resolve nothing.
Being very vague, innit? That's Scotty's fucking like game plan to be very vague, so people might
Not much of a.
think he's intelligent.
Yeah, well, who's he fooling? Maybe Jill. That's it. Yeah, no one else is buying what you're selling, Scotty, because no one else is as dumb as you think they are. I mean, it makes me wonder why he bothers engaging. I would have had more respect for him if he had the self control, the trigger discipline to simply avoid interacting with me. I mean, strange behavior. He blocks me and yet he obsessively reads all of my tweets. I've stopped reading yours, Scotty. I finally realised, I wised up. Scotty's got me blocked. Why the fuck should I listen to his nonsense? Maybe Scotty realised that. Maybe Scotty was smart enough to realise I've stopped reading his tweets and phony snarks, and that's why he has to leave comments on my Twitter feed before hiding behind his block wall like a soy nerd bitch.
Yeah, he's trying to like bait you, isn't he? Not
Yeah.
debate you, bait. Yeah.
Nice, baiting instead of debating. I'll write that one down. That's the key for that. Exactly. Less baiting, more debating, I think. Because it would be interesting to actually have a discussion. Because indeed, Robert Meyer Burnett, like Jens and like Scotty, might be completely wrong in saying that Deckard's a human, but at least they've got an opinion. Scotty, you'll notice Scotty's in two categories, and today, perfect timing, chef's kiss. I was only there for 5 minutes, and that's the time that Gary Nerdrotic chose to come out with the dumbest shit ever, which is there's no answer to the Deckard question. You dumb motherfucker, Gary Nerdrotic. Of course there's an answer. Otherwise, what's all the arguing about? If there wasn't an answer, there'd be no discussion. People would go, well, it's whatever you want it to be. It's tapioca, isn't it? It's blancmange. It's a work of fiction. There's no answer. Thus forgetting about suspension of disbelief. Obviously, Robert Myburnett was right there on the panel and was too chicken, up, to actually call up Gary Nerdrotic, call him out on his fucking egregious bullshit. Of course, there's an answer. Burnett's got it wrong. And as I say, I caught Robert Burnett lying about what Ridley Scott said, where all he had to say was death of the author. But nobody, apart from Gary and on Tuesdays, Scotty, is no answer. There is an answer. You cunts just don't know what it is. That's why we've been arguing about it for 43 years.
43 years. Captain, you say 43
Hello?
years? Oh,
Go on
4 to
there.
3 years.
Yeah, 43 years since Blade Runner came out.
Oh, right, yeah.
1982, 2025 minus 1982 is 43 years of people debating whether Deckard's a replicant. And finally, Gary Nerdrotic said there isn't an answer. Fucking bullshit. There's no answer. What's all the
Soyned
discussion
beer.
about then?
He's an erotic soyned beer.
Exactly. Go and have a drink, Gary. You'll feel better. Exactly. Of course. Now, we might not know what the answer is, but that's very different. Not knowing what the answer is very different from there is no answer. There is an answer. We just can't agree on what it is because some people keep getting it wrong. It's not remotely the same thing as there is no answer. Of course, there's an answer. Ridley Scott will tell you he's a replicant. Game over.
And Scotty acts like he resolved it. Even though he is right, though.
Same with
Deckard is human, but
even though.
yeah, he hasn't resolved it though.
What? All right. Well, let's say Total Recall then. Someone else also in the Gary Nerdrotic Friday Night Wankers chat was going, "Oh, Total Recall, is it a dream? Maybe there's no answer."
Yeah.
And this was just before the Blade Runner came up, so I typed in the chat. Well, of course there's an answer. It's not a fucking dream or a memory implant. Everything's real apart from Quaid. Although I didn't go that far because it was just a chat. So at least on that one, you, me, and DVB agree on what the answer is. But even if there's some, let's say Scotty or Robert Meyer Burnett want to argue that indeed Total Recall, it was all a dream or a memory implant. I use dreams and memory implants synonymously. They're synonymous. They're wrong, but at least there's a debate to be had because some people think that indeed it is a dream or a memory implant. And some people like us realise that no, everything's real apart from Quaid.
Always a memory implant.
There is a memory implant, exactly. Although, as you're pointing out, the wedding was real, but not the wedding night. No, the wedding was a memory implant, but the wedding night was real. No, the honeymoon was real, but the wedding was fake.
Yeah, the wedding was like, the wedding, I reckon, was just in his like imagination. Because with those fucking implants, they must have given him probably a different backstory on how he grew up and that, and so fucking like
because there was about the entire life of Quaid, Douglas Quaid. Because exactly, he wasn't like, oh, you were Hauser and now you're Quaid. You would have been Quaid from birth. That's how deep the cover was. It worked. They would have had to fake implant his entire life.
Yeah. So as I say, they've done it from birth up to where the honeymoon night, and that's when I think it was like, right, okay, well, let's make the honeymoon night real. So fucking here's where we start our fucking sort of sting sort of thing.
So Quaid, Hauser, and Laurie could basically start making the beast with two bats.
Yeah, because I'm sure they've only been married for about a year or something.
Yeah, Max, I would have said 6 weeks because they still seemed happy and they were still having sex.
Yeah, because I'm sure they haven't been married that long. And so that's why I think that's where it started, where they did, because, as I say, fucking Quaid, Hauser, I think he just wanted to fuck Sharon Stone.
Is it Laurie?
Laurie, yeah. He wanted to fuck Laurie, but he knew
he wanted to truck Laurie.
Yeah, but he knew Richter's wouldn't fucking go with it and that. And because Richter is high up in that organisation, it wasn't like he
very
could
high up. He's right off the Richter scale.
Yeah. Because like I think he takes over Hauser's position because I think Hauser's.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, obviously Hauser's taken Richter's position, doggy style.
Yeah. So like,
obviously he's loving that idea.
Yeah.
I think it was all banging his old lady morning, noon, and night, all for the sake of the mission.
Yeah, I think it was all like Hauser's plan. He didn't really give a fuck about stopping the mutants' rebellion fucking plans. He just wanted
to cop off with Laurie.
Yeah, and he just made that excuse that he could bring down the fucking mutant resistance by pretending to be Quaid.
I think you're about right there, Jens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all agree, but that's a good start. Well, it's the end of the discussion because we all agree. But if anyone wanted to come on and say, no, it is a dream, I'd happily debate them. But what I wouldn't do, Scotty, is simply go, oh, it's a movie. It doesn't matter. You can project what you want. Even the eternally gormless and stupid Daytona Falls understands that the answer, there is no answer, is a stupid answer. Well, of course there's an answer. That's why, Gary Neurotic, we're having the fucking discussions. It's called suspension of disbelief. Anyone out there that thinks, oh, there's no answer because it's all fiction, it's pulp fiction. Well, let's start discussing then. All right, then who killed JFK? Because that's a real life mystery. And forget the movie by Oliver Stone because that takes a bunch of unknown facts and adds some more bullshit and adds the bullshit to the few facts that
I
we
don't
do
know. No,
know.
it's a good film. It tries to explain the magic bullet, which if people
No,
don't
it's
know
a
what.
piece of shit film because it lies about things that we know are true. For example, I'll give you a specific example. Lee Harvey Oswald, irrespective of whether he acted alone or not, was definitely, demonstrably a former US Marine, a crack shot, like a Tusken Raider from Star Wars Episode 1. But to hear Oliver Stone bullshit his way through history, he's more like a Tusken Raider from Star Wars, so-called Episode 4, Star Wars couldn't hit a cow's ass with a banjo. So fuck Oliver Stone for his lack of historical verisimilitude and taking the few facts we
Oh,
do know about the JFK
ain't too bad.
case and lying about them. I wish I hadn't
What
brought it
about
up now.
what
Historical
about the mystery
verisimilitude. It's a
woman
movie.
on the lawn and all that shit? But I tell you what,
I
fucking
reckon they should have had space aliens. I reckon they
yeah.
should have had Martians
Well,
do
apparently
it.
though,
It was the Martians because it's a movie, isn't it? So you can use your imagination.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
historical
Well,
verisimilitude.
apparently he uses his imagination too much on the biography of Jim Morrison, The Doors, because
Yeah.
Robbie Krieger and John Desmore and Ray Manzarek and that apparently they thought they portrayed Jim Morrison as too much of a cunt.
Right, he was a cunt, but not that much of a cunt. They went into
Yeah,
cunt overload.
yeah.
Well, hence that's why historical verisimilitude and its cousin transmedia canonical verisimilitude, as we were discussing with DVB just 2 days ago, DVB likes to compare the movie to the book or the movie to the history. I don't, because it's just more layers of confusion. That's why if I'm watching a movie based on history, fuck the history. I just want to enjoy the movie.
Mm.
But that's why I'm in two minds. But generally, depending on which mind I'm in, it's starting to sound like Scotty now, but not as bad. I generally avoid movies based on a true story for that reason, like Zulu, because the makers of Zulu got sued. Zulu's quite realistic as movies go, and yet the filmmakers got sued by the descendants of Hookie because he was basically portrayed in the movie in the barracks
Yeah.
on detention basically and as an alcoholic when in real life he was on commendation with a medal and he was a teetotaler. They got taken to fucking court.
Yeah, I know there was some fucking thing with the family members. You know, oh yeah, he portrayed all of our fucking great grandfathers in a bad light.
Exactly. I wonder what their response was. It's a fucking movie. It makes me think basically that's why I generally often would avoid movies based on real life events because it just gets too confusing. Even Band of Brothers, also known for its realism, tying everything up neatly in a bow, coming full circle to the start of the conversation. Band of Brothers gets details wrong, but of course, people defending that will go, well, of course it does. It's not a documentary, it's a work of fiction. And thus the conversation goes ever on.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, the most faithful sort of like documentary of historical fucking event was Waterloo, the 1980s odd Waterloo, where
Oh,
apparently they
uh,
said, oh yeah,
uh,
it
I thought you were going to say the 70s one. Is it Rod Steiger? Is it 74, something like that?
Oh, well,
That
it could.
one.
It could. I thought it was done in the 80s, but
Oh, we'll have to look it up. But if it's called Waterloo, I'm going 74. Final answer, locked in 74.
yeah. Well, I think it might
But
have been.
certainly, by comparison, Ridley Scott's Napoleon, as far as historical verisimilitude goes, is apparently.
Oh, your mic's gone. Then you have to cut out. You cut out Captain. So what be saying? Because look at you. Um. Oh, yeah. Hey, hey, back. There you go. You might working. No, still not working. We have to like go out and come back in, Captain.
Heard a beat.
Your mic's
Am I
working now.
out? Am I out or am I in?
Oh, your mic's working now.
How weird. I think it's not the mic. Must be the internet.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good internet as well. Oh well. But yeah, as a rule of thumb, any movie based on a true story, I try and avoid it. Or I try and remain ignorant of the actual history so I can enjoy the fiction. But that's what I like about Quentin Tarantino, whether it's Inglorious Bastards or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He diverts so much from actual history that it's blatantly obvious. People don't like it. And I'm like, no, that's good. Make it as far away as possible from actual history so there's no confusion.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like he got in trouble with Bruce Lee's fucking sort of kids and that and grandkids
Yeah.
because
But it's a
he.
movie, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've seen it and that, and I know a bit about Bruce Lee and that, and I know the
Yeah.
scene that in Once Upon a Time America happened. Bruce Lee did not do that, even though he had a few fights and
Once
that.
Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once
Oh yeah, it
Upon
was
a
upon
Time
a
in
time in
America
Hollywood. Yeah,
is the
but,
Sergio Leone film.
yeah,
Nice
yeah. I
try.
fucking these Once Upon a Times. By the way, yeah, Once Upon a
Makes it sound
Time.
like a fairy story, doesn't it? Once
Yeah,
Upon a
yeah,
Time in
yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood totally like fucking made Bruce Lee look like a bit of a prick and that,
Yeah.
and so yeah, yeah, they weren't happy with it.
Here's your clue. Cliff Booth was a fictional character. Having said that, he was based on a real stuntman. This is where you can go. In fact, this was actually an argument I had with DVB because I was like, I don't care about the historical verisimilitude. I'm more concerned about the unreliable narration because in the movie, it's not made clear whether that scene actually happened or whether it's an unreliable narration taking place in the imagination, not the memory or the bad memory of unreliable narrator Cliff Booth, although he's not narrating it to anyone, but he is having a beer and possibly a smoke on a rooftop. Very unsafe place to have a beer and a smoke. But you have to remember that it's a flashback, which might make it an unreliable narration and a dream sequence. So even in the movie, it's not saying necessarily that the scene happened, or if it did happen, it's not saying it happened that way. And what I mean is, compared to the reality of the movie, not the reality of actual reality, because of course Cliff Booth is a fictional character. Although Bruce Lee did actually meet a stuntman in Hollywood, and they did actually end up being friends and teaching each other fighting documentary. So yeah, that was actually my biggest and favourite argument with DVB because then we realised we were talking about historical verisimilitude and unreliable narration. So there's three
Yeah,
things going on.
well no,
Oh, what a
yeah, well no, it probably did it, but it's all fiction in it. That film because the main plot line to that,
Pulp Fiction. It's Pulp Fiction.
yeah, well the main plot
Yeah.
line to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is that the Manson killers, instead of going to the fucking Baird's house who was fucking dating, or it was something to do with the Beach
Sharon
Boys,
Tate.
but yeah, instead of them going to her house, they go to fucking Brad Pitt's house. Oh, like
I want to say Leonardo DiCaprio's house, but that's
Oh yeah,
What's the name of his character?
no,
That guy.
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
washed-up
yeah,
actor.
yeah. Actually, yeah, it's Leo DiCaprio's where fucking yeah, where fucking Brad Pitt is at his house for some reason. I think because he's his bodyguard, isn't he?
Yeah, Cliff Booth.
Yeah,
Yeah, but stuntman, flunky, and driver because of the tickets he
yeah.
got. Speeding ticket, was it a
Mm.
citation for drunk driving?
Yeah. Well, that's that film where it proper just fucking
So many
rewrites
layers.
history. It's like if it's in another timeline dimension. In the vortex, or the central vortex core, whatever.
A vortex.
I don't know what fucking thing he was saying because I was like watching a fucking because like yeah we I was watching a YouTube video that someone did about Rick's storyline, and so like fucking did an half hour did it pretty good as in like did it up to sort of date and that because I think it was done about like 4 months ago or whatever. So like it's his storyline of like how he
Yeah.
became like Rick and that, you know, because like they used all the like back fucking sort of um what they called. Well, they have
I've totally lost track of the conversation. Are you talking about Rick and Morty,
yeah,
Quentin
yeah, yeah. Well,
Tarantino? What?
when they go into like um stories about the past, it's called a back summit, in it, a backflash, whatever. Yeah,
Flashback.
yeah, flashback. Yeah. So when they're going into like flashbacks and that, the dude sort of like used that to like show the like storyline of like fucking Rick's sort of like because he's in a multi dimension thing and that they use the central.
Multiverse.
No, yeah, yeah, like about the central vortex core or whatever it was. Like,
The central finite curve. It wasn't
yeah,
me.
that's
It was the
it.
central finite curve officer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Talking about that and how fucking evil Morty fucking is using it to go into a fucking universe where Rick doesn't exist or something like that. But
The central finite curve.
yeah, even I still don't know fucking what exactly it means. But too poncy for fucking time travel. I think that's used for
And how
multi
we got into Rick and
dimensions.
Morty, I dip out for 10 seconds and then, yeah. But you see, at least with Reservoir Dogs, it's not based on a true story. But still, to this day, Robert Meyer Burnett and I disagree on whether the commode scene happened. It did happen.
Right.
I'll tell you what, this is great for me. This is
I
because
think it happened, but
all
to
these
someone else.
topics.
He just uses it.
Well,
I think it happened, but to someone else, so he uses that story like if it
no,
did happen to him.
we know it happened to someone else. That's not in dispute. What I mean is when we see Officer Dibble, Tim Roth's character, Officer Freddy, act it out. Yeah, no, this is what. No one is suggesting that Officer Freddy was actually smuggling marijuana. That's ridiculous. Well, that's not actually wouldn't be the first time a police officer has been guilty of smuggling marijuana. No, what we're saying is Officer Freddy was acting it out because his sergeant on screen told him to act it out because his life depended on the very similitude of his story. And because it didn't happen to him, he would have had to act it out to give it very similitude. So indeed, he knew exactly what kind of towels or indeed a heating device and soap was available in the bathroom. And that's why, at least DVB agrees, that indeed Officer Freddy definitely acted out the story that happened to somebody else. They got the story from Long Beach Mike, of course. So what happened to one of his mates? No, tell a lie. The recommendation came from Long Beach Mike, or was it the story? Oh. But yeah, that's another debate because, of course, that goes. That's I think Tarantino's weakness as a filmmaker is making things unclear. But that goes back to the point: is that there is a debate to be had. It either did or didn't get acted out by Officer Freddy. I say it did. Robert Burnett says it didn't, and in fact, that's the last thing he argued with me about until the Blade Runner thing came up again 2 weeks ago. But imagine if it was Scotty or Gary Nerdrotic, they'd be going, "Oh well, it doesn't matter. It's a movie. It's whatever you think." No, that's bullshit. It's not what you think. It's what the director thinks.
We're sitting on the fence, isn't it? So they get more fucking daft cunts trying to fucking talk to them, or like, because if they say, "Oh yeah, well, it's all stupid fiction," who gives a fuck?
It's all fiction.
Yeah, then people are good. Like, oh right, well, then Gary isn't like one of those people who thinks so and so, but Scotty and personal thinks so and so. Just in case, the fucking soy-head bitches. That's what happens with soy-head bitches. The fence-sitting, soy-head orbiting bitches.
Exactly. Just because it's a work of fiction doesn't mean that it's all blancmange. It's because it's fiction. You have to have something to believe in. Otherwise, what's next? You take that logic to its logical conclusion. Did Luke blow up the Death Star? Maybe there was no Death Star. Maybe he just imagined it. I mean, after all, it's a movie, isn't it? That's where you're going with that, Scotty. Just nothing's real. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You fucking hippie, Scotty.
Could fucking Luke fucking hit a swamp rat from 100 fucking yards away?
That's right.
Or was he just
bigger than 2 meters?
Yeah. Or was he just a fucking unreliable narrator or just bullshitting it?
Yeah, instead of bullseyeing womp rats, he was bullshitting about womp rats. Brilliant. Exactly. Bullseye or bullshit? That is the question.
But you do find out, no, I want bullshit because he is fucking good at shooting shit.
Yeah. It's just he insisted on using the metric system. He wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is. That's why he said they're not much bigger than 2 meters. Where, of course, his father, Darth Vader, wanted to measure the gap in inches using an imperial system.
Yeah, the Imperial.
That's what all the fighting was about. The rebels were using the metric system, and of course the Empire wanted to use the Imperial system. And of course Vader wanted to cease this conflict and bring them together, and indeed wanted to rule the galaxy together using the metric and Imperial system.
Yeah, until Papamere fucking found out he killed younglings, which then it all just went. Yeah,
and then he killed her.
Yeah,
you're killing me. Oh, what killed Padme? Well, maybe it's you force choking her when she was pregnant, you daft aper.
Yeah, and then everyone fucking lost track of what the true fucking Rebel Reliance was all about, and that.
Exactly. Still got to rewatch episodes 1, 2, and 3. Hey, Padme, how's it going with that pregnancy, with that huge bump, with that definitely one baby that you're having? Being a Sith Lord didn't give him the powers to detect 2 heartbeats in her stomach, did it? Because it's a retcon. Tell me about your mother, your real mother. Well, they ripped me out of her womb and then she died the next day. Retcon bullshit. Which goes back to the verisimilitude. It's fiction. And that's the whole thing. You see, I don't, and this is really tying up all the topics. I don't require Star Wars or Star Trek or Superman to have realistic physics. I just need internal consistency. And so if George Lucas keeps changing the plot from one episode to another, small wonder that Empire Strikes Back is basically glorified incest porn.
I don't know about that.
Well, she slicked him the tongue. Don't tell me she didn't.
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, DVB going, well, they weren't brother and sister at the time. That's not how biology works. That's a retcon, isn't it, then? It's a retcon
Wait.
because George Lucas was lying to us about having any prequels planned, let alone sequels, let alone even sequels. And that's why you type in Harrison Ford ladder, you'll get a picture of Harrison Ford standing, leaning next to or on a ladder that says Star Wars 2. Because it was only after it was filmed that suddenly George Lucas decided it was going to be called Episode 5. And that's why the words A New Hope had never been uttered until 1981 for the re-release of Star Wars for the double bill.
I think there was a like fucking 6-part, but they couldn't.
Not until 1981. It was never called Episode 4 A New Hope until 1981. And at a point lost on your mate that came on. Remember that guy that came on and started shouting about 2 or 3 weeks ago, claiming that Star Wars didn't really have a big general release in 1977?
Oh yeah.
Bullshit. Just because but it's completely irrelevant. I had some thoughts about that. It was nice that we started arguing and ended up being friendly, but he totally got off the track. Whether Star Wars was or wasn't popular in 77, the point I was making is that no cunt, including George Lucas, ever breathed the words Episode 4 A New Hope until 1981. And he's basically, George Lucas has almost successfully pulled a Jedi mind trick on the entire planet, because now journalists are misremembering it. Oh, I remember seeing A New Hope in 1977. No, you don't, you can't, because it was called Star Wars. There was no episode and no A New nothing. It wasn't called Episode 4 A New Hope until 1981. That's a full year after the release of Empire Strikes Back. And that's a fact, Jack.
Yeah, well, apparently George Lucas, he did have the
It's a lie.
1 and 2 and 3, but
no, he didn't.
they couldn't do
He
the
didn't
pod
have 5 and
racing.
6. He hadn't even written the sequel.
And
It's
so
fucking
that's why he had to do
bullshit.
4,
It's all a
5, and
lie.
6.
No, he had nothing. He had one movie and that's it. He hadn't even thought about the sequel. That's why Darth Vader is not Luke's father. That's why it's such a good twist, because it's a fucking retcon. Yeah.
They said that they are, so I believe they're that. I don't think they had it all written in that, but I think it was gonna be a fucking 6-part sort of trilogy. 'Cause that's what they say.
Well, that's if it's a trilogy, that by definition is 3 parts. No, it wasn't even planned as a 3-part trilogy. That's what I'm saying. George Lucas had nothing planned. That's why he had the novel Splinter of the Mind's Eye. If Star Wars didn't take off, then Splinter of the Mind's Eye was going to be the sequel. And that's a completely different story and doesn't feature Han or Han Solo. So he had nothing planned, nothing. It's the story of the century. George Lucas is the unreliable narrator. He had nothing planned. He was making up as he went along. And Darth Vader was not Luke's father. That's a fucking retcon. How do you know that, Captain? By watching Star Wars. You can tell. Otherwise, are you trying to tell me that Darth Vader was basically torturing for information his own daughter, even if he didn't know? There was no hint of it. There's no hint of it whatsoever. Or that if his mother was buried on Tatooine, you think he'd pop down for a visit. He's quite happy to pop down to Hoth, wasn't he? Or indeed, we're talking about coincidences. If you believe the prequels, then how the fuck, of all the hovels in all the towns of the entire planet of Tatooine, how did C-3PO, by nothing but amazing coincidence, end up back on the moisture farm on which he was built when his memory had been erased?
Yeah, he's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, the same man. Like, but I think he did have like a sort of, but yeah, it's one of them.
Lucas planned nothing. No sequels, no prequels, no trilogy. Just one movie. That's it. He had nothing planned. Nothing. Hence the incest porn. It's a house of cards, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I had to blow it over.
Well, I just think it's one of them where he did let other people help him write it and that, and
Yeah,
so
Lee Brackett, namely.
yeah. What I'm saying, I think he had an idea, but because other people helped him write it, they did sort of like make it sort of a bit sort of where it, as you say, it redcons itself and that.
Yep, it's just a house of retcon cards. That's why I'll happily rewatch the entire trilogy with anyone that wants to, just to confirm that it is indeed a house of retcons.
Mm, yeah, just redcon parts of itself and that.
It's retcons all the way down. George Lucas is as much of an unreliable narrator as Cliff Booth and as much of a lying bullshitter as Scotty R37, tying up the theme of today's show in a nice little bow as we approach the end of the first hour. This is brilliant. I think we can I could basically do a transcript of today's show and make that the introduction to my book. Yeah, I can't believe the beautiful and excellent timing of Gary Nerd Rossick saying that stupid shit as recently as 3 hours ago that there is no answer to the Deckard question because it's a movie. Shut the fuck up, Gary. You know nothing about pop culture.
Well, I've been saying that for years.
I mean, you're right too. What a stupid! I think that's the dumbest idea. And in fact, as we all know, what's my least favourite movie of all time? The Usual Suspects, because it films an unreliable narration and then uses that as a twist. But even the piece of shit, The Usual Suspects, at least it tells you that it's an unreliable narration and isn't true. It doesn't lower itself further by saying maybe it is or isn't true. Who cares? It's a movie. It's all fiction. It's Pulp
Mm.
Fiction.
Yeah.
At least it tells you it was lying. So at the end, he goes, "Yep, it was all a lie. We filmed a lie."
Well, popcorn, fucking just watch and fucking buy, watch and fucking buy, watch again and all that shit. What was it? I forget what it's called, but don't think
Yeah,
about it
rewatch
anyway.
value. That's why Lord of the Rings is a bunch of shite because you know Gandalf's not dead. You got all that over egging, overcooking, the slow mo, the music, the weeping hobbits. Gandalf's dead. No, he fucking isn't. He's going to be back in 10 minutes at the start of the next movie. If you're watching them back to back, that's 10 minutes later. That's why Lord of the Rings is a fucking piece of shit with absolutely zero rewatch value. Every
Yeah,
time I rewatch it, it gets worse. Oh, Gandalf's dead. No, he fucking isn't. Shut up. Stop crying. You fucking soy nerd hobbit bitches.
no, it's real good fucking fight scenes in Lord of the Rings. Some epic
Yeah, I'm
battles.
not
That.
talking about the fight scenes. I want you to confront the fact that they're pulling your heartstrings, Jens. Do you
Oh
not
yeah,
remember at
mm,
the end of the first movie where
yeah,
they
yeah.
tease you, where they lied to you that Gandalf's dead, and they got the crying hobbits and the sad music and the slow mo footage during the
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Gandalf's dead. Yeah, and then the start of the next film. Hi, folks.
Well, Gandalf the Grey does die. Gandalf the White, doesn't he? He
He's the
fucking.
same cunt with a
Oh
different
no, yeah.
cloak. All that crying is bullshit. No rewatch value whatsoever, apart from the action scenes, which are good.
Yeah, fucking great masculine CGI action.
Yeah, better
Even
than The
though it's not
Hobbit
all
anyway.
CGI, but a lot of it is CGI.
I just think there's a fine line between a good twist, or maybe a thick, wide line between a good twist and basically, oh, we subverted your expectations. Well, it's your movie, motherfucker. So when a film just takes you down the road, the wrong road, even Raiders of the Lost Ark isn't immune. Marion's not dead. There weren't even two trucks. What the fuck are you doing, Spielberg, you dumb cunt? Oh, she's dead. Oh, she's alive. Fuck off, film.
Mm,
That's why they do the same thing in Star Wars, whatever it is, 7, 8, or 9. Chewie! Oh, no, he's not dead. There were two ships. Same thing. They probably stole the idea from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And that's why the formerly perfect 10 out of 10 film Raiders of the Lost Ark loses 2 stars. It's now 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10, because of that cheap fake out death of Marion Ravenwood. There weren't even two trucks. That's fucking cheating. Misdirection. Absolute shite. I've even had people on YouTube trying to tell me, oh, yeah, it is a cheap fucking retcon. Well, it's not a retcon, but it's basically a misdirection, a cheap twist. But it's an homage to B movies. Fuck off. It's meant to be an A movie.
uh, you are fucking very harsh on some fucking films and that.
Yeah, it did take me 40 rewatches to realise. But yeah, that shit about marrying is bullshit. Because the thing is, if you're going to have a twist, you've got to have a clue to reward the people watching it carefully, or indeed to confirm your cleverness as a screenwriter and or director on the rewatch. And like Lord of the Rings, Raiders of the Lost Ark gets worse on every rewatch because you realise how badly we get cheated because there's no clue that Marion could, let alone is, still alive. There's not even two trucks. She's in a truck, it blows up, Indy's sad, and then suddenly he pops into a tent. And as pointed out in the Mad magazine adaptation, of all the tents in the entire desert, I had to pop into this one. Another amazing fucking coincidence.
Yes, it's they can have a happy fucking hey, you're not dead moment.
Exactly. You're not dead, even though I clearly blew up that truck. I was in another truck. What other truck? What the fuck are you talking about, Marion? Well, I'm just a fictional character. It's just a movie. That's what I want. I want a remix of Raiders of the Lost Ark where Scotty pops up, goes, hey, it's just a movie, folks. Doesn't matter. None of it's real. It's just an illusion. That's cinema, folks. Why not have fucking Kermit the Frog tied up with Marion in the tent? Why not have Marion Ravenwood tied up with Kermit the Frog? Why not? It's just a fucking movie, isn't it, Scotty?
Yeah. Probably like say team though, because in that, like, uh, there was a bit where a helicopter smashed into a side of a fucking cliff and exploded, but
Yeah.
two dudes come out of the burnt wreckage with a bit of a headache.
But at least you see it happen. You see, if they spent half an hour of the movie making you cry over the clearly dead two dudes, and then, well, actually, that's what they did in Star Wars Episode 7, isn't it? That TIE fighter, Poe Dameron's a fucking goner. And then half an hour later, no explanation. Oh no, I'm suddenly alive. Really? I thought your fucking TIE fighter disappeared into the sand on yet another desert fucking planet.
I didn't watch that shit. But
Yeah, well, good for you. You're
yeah,
right not to, except you're a
back,
YouTuber.
yeah, back to the A team though. The no, it looked so fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous that like two dudes could survive this, but it was to get the PG sort of rating, and so as long as they didn't die, it didn't matter how ridiculous it looked like that they survived, they could get away with it.
Oh, okay. So you can have a violent explosion of a helicopter as long as you claim that the people survived, then suddenly it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, because that's what was happening with the A team. While no one really died in it because it put up the fucking certificate rating, and so all the bad guys got minor injuries.
Wasn't that the truth for the TV show? Because they could only show it so early for us kids at the time. Because in spite of all the shooting going on, no one actually got shot.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's how we could get away with it. You could blow up loads of shit, but and flip loads of cars and blow them up and that. As long as you could, you saw the like people survive. That
Every week, that's that a different car getting flipped exactly the same way.
yeah, and then them coming out with like fucking minor injuries.
They might as well have taken the slide whistle from that fucking from James Bond, Live and Let Die, and put it there because it was about as realistic.
Oh, thingy. You know that. Oh, Daytona's. Fucking. Daytona's say, yeah, boy,
Yay, Daytona!
I'll hop on after me buddy leaves. I don't know what time that
You
was.
get on Daytona. Even Daytona understands that a movie has to have an inner logic. You can't just go, oh, well, it's whatever you think. Well done. Daytona gets that to the extent that he pretends not to get it to take the piss. Well done, Daytona.
I don't know if you, but I'll look out. So if he wants me to drop him the link, okay,
Yeah, make it a 3.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, Daytona is a 3rd. Brilliant.
yeah. Well, what was I saying? Oh yeah. You know them Mythbusters? There's like 2 dudes and they go around busting myths. You know, like fucking they do the
Yep,
experiment.
the title is not ironic.
Yeah. Well, they was doing a scene from the A Team where they put dynamite underneath a fucking oh, what do you call them? Sewer, a sewer manhole. You know, a sewer manhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put it underneath that.
A killer clown.
Right. And so when this car goes over it, they explode the dynamite and it fucking fucks up the car and that and fucks up the people inside, but not that bad. Apparently they did the experiment, and yeah, the people in the car would have survived, and fucking I think one of them like fucking they all had like concussion and that, and one of them I think was right underneath the fucking dynamite sort of thing, broke his leg or something. But they survived.
Apparently, for the next season of MythBusters, they're actually going to build a Death Star, an actual orbiting space station, to see if they can actually blow up the entire thing just through a tiny 2-meter hole in the thermal exhaust port.
Yeah.
Because some people are saying that's not very realistic and lacks verisimilitude. And then apparently the next episode of Mythbusters, they're going to take a DeLorean and see if they can actually attach a flux capacitor and make it into a time machine, thus finally answering the question of how many timelines in Back to the Future and whether the new timeline is created when Marty arrives, which it does, or as you say, only when someone spots him.
You've heard of safe travelling. I mean, safe time travelling is where you go back in time, but you don't disturb anything. So then,
I'm glad you said this safe. Is that a thing you just made up? Safe time travelling.
No, it's fucking. No, it's a premises. That's what fucking Doc tells sort of Marty about fucking. Because he starts kicking off.
I've seen the film several times. He never calls it safe time travelling. That's something you made up, Jens. Admit it.
No, it's the theory on safe time travelling, which Marty. Doc.
I don't believe you. I think you're lying.
Well,
citation needed.
Doc says it, doesn't he?
You made it up.
That doesn't call it safe time travelling. He calls it travelling back fucking without causing any fucking
he doesn't call it. Yeah, right. So you made the phrase "safe time travelling" is something that you made up. Jens, admit it.
No, I don't think I made it up. I think I just
I think you did. Well, I'd like to see a citation. No one apart from you has ever used the phrase. I mean, I understand the concept. I'm going to nick it and put it in my book, but because again,
I didn't come up with it. I didn't come up with it. I didn't invent it.
Stop the time travel for one fucking week because we're going in circles.
All right.
But I think you made it. I think you made up safe time. Like I said, I get it. I get what you're saying, but you made it up. You can't.
No, I didn't make it up.
And pretend it's a standard thing.
I didn't make it up. I've seen it on.
Then show me a website or a clip where anyone apart from you uses the phrase "safe time travel."
I think it's on the fucking Time Machine film. It's on some Time Machine film where they explain.
Well, when you find it, you tell me.
Well, I don't know, but I know it's time machine because that's what they always fucking say. when you go back in time, you can't disturb anything, or else that
Exactly, and that's what,
will
because it's a new
change your
timeline, so it's not an
timeline. Yeah,
issue.
and so
Yeah.
the if you do go back in time, you can't change anything. So when you
Exactly, it's not an issue because you're in a brand new timeline.
no,
The arrival of the time traveller
you're in
is the
your
change.
you're in your timeline that you
We had
went
exactly
from
this
the
conversation
future
two
from.
shows ago.
And so, if you
Yeah,
change anything,
yeah,
then you're not going to go back onto that one. But if you don't, you
yeah,
do go
yeah.
back
We had
onto it.
exactly this conversation 2 days
Well, there we
ago.
go then.
Nothing has
Right, then
changed.
we'll change it. You'll change it. Change the subject then. Go on. What do you want to talk about?
I hate it when people do that. You're the one that got me off the track of what I spent a full hour talking about verisimilitude, and then you want to go back to time travel, which we talk about every fucking day. Which I'm happy to do again, but without a third person to judge it, there's no point
Oh,
because it's you
talking
and
about
me.
that. Talking
Because
about
we're having
that.
the same conversation. What?
Oh, they talk about that. They talk about no, it's not. I thought the total might have
Oh,
been
you
okay.
take me right off the track now. I'm going to get more coffee.
Yeah. How is it? Saying what I know. I'm watching a lot of time traveling films. But talking about a different subject. Get this. Well,
There we go.
a subject you'll fucking be interested in talking about. Star Trek. The what do you call it?
Section 31.
Yeah, apparently it's
Section 31.
Apparently it's
Shite.
done really shit with not only fucking the viewers but with the critics. I think it's something like 17 fucking points and like 23. Like
Is that bad?
yeah, high teens, low 20s. It's
But yeah, Gary
hovering.
was slagging it off earlier. Robert might be. So yeah, across the board, everyone's slagging it off. Even Daniel doesn't like it, and he loves Section 31. Gives him a hard on.
The soy-head bitches. What I said. That's the only entertainment they've got left for them. Soy-head bitch. You're watching Section 31 on Soy-head bitch.
Is there another canonical Spock in it?
No, the fucking would have would have probably fucking been better off getting another Chronicle Spock on it because at least fucking there'd have been someone
Chronicle.
who like could have been. Oh
He's
yeah,
on the
well,
pipe, right?
yeah, Spock. Wow, why the fuck have open that shower? Fuck yeah.
Chronicle Spock.
Shit. Just, just go find some for a minute. No, what the fuck is it?
Where the fuck is what? Bow. Indeed. Safe time travel. Climbing in a safe.
Ah, yeah, I got it.
Like safe steps.
I didn't even use it, that's why I couldn't find it. It was where I'd fucking left it. I thought I'd fucking used it.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
But yeah, Section 31, Parasite Shite.
Yeah, universally loathed, apparently. Good to know.
Yeah, well,
No cut
fucking...
likes it.
yeah, well, sorry, Ned, bitches,
It's
isn't
the,
it?
it's the Scotty of movies. Absolutely no one likes it, and it's full of shit.
Yeah, well, it was sort of designed for people like Scotty, so he probably might like it. Because Michelle...
What, lying wankers that can't get laid?
Yeah, well, Michelle Ho's in it, and so Scotty will be like, oh, she's a very tough woman who'll be able to beat up people who I don't like and bully me.
I'm sure if they painted her green, he'd spunk his little load, wouldn't he?
Oh, well, if they had painted her green, he'd have probably gone out and bought the 6-inch figure, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, 6 inches, that's big enough for Scotty.
You can't ruin his
Yeah, because no
anus.
cunt's buying him a She-Hulk, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. Probably don't want him to ruin his anus with it.
As I say, Scotty, even Christmas comes once a year.
Well, I just can't understand why people didn't want to see a grown middle-aged man with a
A grown
She-Hulk
man
doll.
cry.
Yeah. You know, fucking, he told her him back at fucking DM him. See, see what's
Is he
happening.
coming up or what? Or was that a fucking lie too?
Yeah, well, it was in the chat. I'll see. Mm,
More lies, lies, lies.
yeah. But we're still hanging out with your mates. Question mark. Yeah, yeah, because he's already got the link.
Oh dear, because that was an hour of intense energy from me. That's it. I'm spent. I'm in the back seat now. Someone else is going to have to do all the work in bed.
Oh, we told him to speak. Talking shit.
That's no good, is it?
No.
I
Yeah.
can't work with that bullshit.
Oh, I say something. Oh, my fucking signal's fucking shit.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it is that.
There he is.
No, that's me.
Oh no, that's you again.
Yeah.
Oh,
To
what a
leave,
tease.
motherfucker. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's just checking the link. So, the Toto's already got the link.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I just checked.
Kind of a man, he'd come up and defend himself, but he won't because he's a soy nerd bitch, isn't he?
Yeah.
Only happy to be flinging his fucking verbal feces from behind a paywall.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's not about debating. It's all about baiting you, and he's baiting you into fucking talking about him. But we're talking about him being fucking side, not wanting to debate you.
Exactly. Well, all I know is my tweets are getting a lot of views, but
Mm.
ultimately, Twitter, YouTube, or books for that matter, I can't control viewer numbers, but I'm right and Scotty's wrong, and I don't even know what his game is. I can't really see the wisdom in what he's doing, just blatant bullshitting. Now everyone knows he's a fucking liar. Well done, Scotty. Whatever reputation you did have is now fucking ruined. Even Jill, even your number one fan, Jill, knows that you're a fucking liar, Scotty.
They just play the YouTube game to like keep the mouth shut unless they're shooting it off behind a block paywall.
Exactly.
How the fuck did they get a paywall? Who's paying for that?
No, I said that as a joke. It's not a paywall, it's just a block. You ain't getting paid for shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna
The only
say.
person getting paid round here is Jill, and of course, Phony Snark of Soy, which I was giving a good hate watch to yesterday in a bit of a Twitter rundown. Oh, I tell you what. Another thing, when Scotty complains that I am still talking about Blade Runner, don't blame me. Robert Meyer Burnett and Gary Nerdrotic are bringing up Blade Runner and the Deckard debate. Go and complain to them, or indeed listen to Phony Snark of Soy. He's got guests complaining about their medical problems. At least I'm talking about pop culture.
Up to date pop culture and all, because we're talking about how shit fucking Star Trek has become.
Exactly.
Even though
Section
we knew that.
31, my arse.
Well, we don't have to see that shit to know it.
Exactly. Haven't seen it, hated it.
I ain't seen it. I'm fucking not gonna want to see it. Because it's fucking, once again, for soy-nerd bitches. But even how these soy-nerd bitches are like, no, that's too soyed.
Even for too soy, even for soy nerd bitches. That's wow. That what is the world coming to?
Oh, well, it happened once or twice before, hasn't it? It happened with Batgirl, well, Batwoman. And then they knew Batgirl film was just going to be fucking a monstrosity of fucking a low cow. And so, yeah, the fucking...
Even Scotty's not going to watch it. That's how bad it is.
Nah, Scotty probably would have watched it, but even Scotty would have said how bad it would have been, because it must have been bad. Because I forget how...
But he will watch it. But that's how soy he is.
Well, I forget. Yeah. Well, I forget how many millions, but I'm sure it was at least 100 million because it was a fucking DC fucking film, and so you're
They
looking
got
at
money
about
to burn.
well, yeah, you're looking at about 100 million for a DC film because you're going to use loads of special effects and that shit. So I'm sure it was
AC/DC more like.
yeah, but I'm sure like it was over 100 million. It could have been 200 million. I don't know, but because they did reshoots and that. So like, yeah, it was costing loads, and then they got to that stage where they knew if we fucking release this, we're gonna have to spend more money on fucking advertising it and that, and people are just gonna take the piss out of it. So to save money and their dignity, they canned it.
Fair enough. Wow, they got dignity to save. Amazing balls.
Well, to save their reputation's dignity of fucking releasing fucking decent films anyway.
I am pleasantly surprised they got anything to save. I thought they would be like Scotty. There is no reputation, but that's just Scotty.
No, well, it's DC in it. DC don't have many female fucking action heroes, and I think with the Batwoman, I think they realise why they don't have any female. I mean, with Batgirl and Batwoman, I think they've realised why they don't have any female. So the one in
Batgirl and Catwoman.
Well, she ain't a hero, is she?
I think
She's
it's Batgirl
a villain.
and Catwoman, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, Catwoman's not a hero, even though
No, she's a villain.
But yeah, well, anyway,
she's
basically,
a hero to me.
DC,
like heroine.
DC, I've got
hard stuff.
Wonder Woman, and maybe Supergirl.
They should do another Wonder Woman. Make it a trilogy.
Oh, how bad fucking Wonder Woman 84?
Well, that's what happens when you let Patty Jenkins write the script. Stick to the directing, darling. That's the problem. She's no script writer, but they let her have at it with the old fucking typewriter. That's the problem.
Well, DC, as I say, they've got like 2 female characters that they could fucking make films of, and that's Wonder Woman and Supergirl, which they have done. And
Mm.
apart from that, DC, oh, well, they've got Harley Quinn now, which they
Yeah.
use.
Well, they
But
can't. They've milked that cash cow dry,
yeah,
haven't they?
yeah, but she's not
You've
a
had Suicide
superhero.
Squad,
Yeah.
The Suicide Squad. What's
Well,
next? Son of Suicide Squad.
well, I think
You
they
want to be
realised, so,
good?
yeah,
Suicide Squad.
well, they made a film, didn't they, Bears of Prey, which was so terrible. Like, there's an action scene in it where you see one of the stunt dudes who thinks he's off camera get up from when he's being knocked down and, like, just walk off.
Oh dear.
Yeah, oh, terrible.
I get knocked down, but I get up again because I thought
Yeah,
I was off screen.
yeah. Oh, and so fucking, that was like one of them where fucking did so shit and that. Yeah, they won't, they know Harley Quinn's not fucking a strong enough character for her own movie. That's why she got put back in the Suicide Squad.
Okay. No more solos for her, eh?
No, I don't think so. Hopefully not.
Oh dear.
Well, female led action, I've been saying it for years. It's like female sports. It's not going to be that good.
Mm.
And so, unless they're really good looking,
That'll do it.
yeah. But then, you see, the thing is when they're really good looking, you, well, you know it's a bit of a fucking bullshit film when women are beating the shit out of dudes. You're thinking, well, what are these dudes? Are these like fucking a bunch of side cunts? Because if you're getting beat by a woman, you're obviously not a trained fucking.
Make
Like,
Scotty the villain. That's how you do it. Make Scotty the villain, and then people will believe that he can get beaten up by a bird.
oh yeah. If all the like henchmen were like Scotty, then yeah, uh, I can picture a bear beating 3 or 4 of Scotty's up at once.
I'll take you all on.
Yeah. But like for that for a bit, and so like it's just unbelievable and that shit. That's why I think that escape from Planet Terror, where she's got a fucking machine gun for her leg.
Yeah, well, I mean, who doesn't these days?
Yeah, well that went really ridiculous in that, but it was one of them where they knew that the character it was going to be ridiculous, so they're like, yeah, well, fucking let's turn it up to fucking 10.
Right, but that's what I like about Tarantino. It goes back to the historical verisimilitude. If you're going to make it ridiculous, make it super ridiculous. Fuck it, go all the way to 11 out of 10.
Yeah. But have you seen the end of fucking Death Proof?
I haven't. I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, you don't want to know it's shit. Well,
That's what I heard, and therefore I didn't.
yeah, well, as spoilers for you, the film in like a minute. um, Kate Russell's character is a stuntman, and he's got like a stunt car where it's all fucking thingied up, you know, safety harness and everything.
Right.
Well, he likes to just fucking turn off his lights and do about 100 down fucking the wrong way in little narrow lanes. And whichever car,
Oh.
yeah, well, I think he picks women, but we don't know. Well, anyway, he smashes into the car,
He
killing
kills
all
men
like
also, but that's off screen.
what? Oh yeah,
He kills men as well. Sorry, it doesn't matter. Go on.
yeah. He could do, but like, yeah, fucking, I can't because I saw the film once. That well, anyway, so he kills people like that by just crashing into them, and because he's in a fucking like safety car and that, he survives. Well, anyway, he like does it to these three women, and then these three women realize found out at the end, get Russell out, and there's three of them, and start beating the shit out of him. But they use ping pong. I mean, ping pong, pinball, fucking ding
Oh yeah.
dings. Yeah. If you
Yeah,
don't believe me,
pinball wizards.
yeah, it says into pinball wizard at the end. If you don't believe me, you just probably Google or I mean, look on YouTube the end of fucking end fight scene or end scene to fucking Death Proof.
Death Proof.
Yeah, it's a shit film.
I'm glad I missed it. That was a good decision on my part.
Yeah,
Right, note to self: still don't see Death Proof.
no, I don't. I don't know why Kate Russell did that film.
Money. Same reason
Ah,
Michael Caine did Jaws 2.
no,
Bought
because
him a nice
no,
swimming pool, I
no, I
guess.
want money. No, it couldn't have been money because I'm
No?
sure he didn't get paid that much for it. And if he did get paid, fucking well,
Really?
he's got fucking loads of money because he'd done it
Sophie
when
Titwank?
well he'd done that film in like 2000 or something odd. So he'd fucking made his money. He didn't have to do it for money.
Wow. As you know, I'm the kind of person that likes to obsess about the details of the script. What the actors and the directors are up to is not my concern.
Yeah, well, I say that film was so bad. You know, if it had been some other actor in that, I'd have probably thought, oh yeah, he's doing it for the money. But with being Kate Russell, I mean, what the fuck is he doing that film for?
Mm.
But it was pretty good in the Eightful Hate, or the Hateful
The
Eight.
Hateful Eight.
Yeah,
No, no, no. That's a bunch of politics.
yeah. Apparently, Tarantino's got one more film to make, and he says,
So he says.
"Hmm,
I wish he'd made that Star Trek gangster movie. That would have been really good.
being too masculine."
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Star motherfucking Trek.
Yeah, well,
What does Marcellus Spock look like? Oh, he's got pointy ears. Go on.
yeah, well, Tarantino, he'd have fucking done a really good Bond film, even though it probably wouldn't have been the Bond film that the Broccolis would have wanted. Fucking hell. But,
Well, as long as he gets laid at least once, I'm happy.
oh, you know Tarantino would have had fucking Bond getting laid.
Probably had a foot massage as well.
He'd have probably had fucking Bond doing a fucking threesome because Bond
At
never does it.
least.
Well, Bond, he's never done a threesome.
Slack.
Yeah. I think there's been sort of like hints to it, like as in when there's two bears, like hey, that. So I think there's hints to him um, having a threesome, or he's fucking would be up for a threesome, but
Yeah.
he never has a threesome.
No, the last movie he didn't even get laid once. Didn't even have a
No,
twosome. Didn't even get wanked off.
yeah, he didn't.
Nothing.
Yeah, no.
Not even about a mutual masturbation at the back of the moisture evaporator. He's getting literally less sex than Uncle Owen.
Mm.
At least Uncle Owen got wanked off by C3PO for 12 years. That's canon, that is.
Allegedly.
That is official canon. They spent 12
I
years
don't want
together. I
Uncle
know what
Owen
they were up
fucking
to at the back of the
suing.
moisture evaporator.
Well, I'm
Probably
not
having
having
threesomes
Uncle
with
Owen
Aunt
suing me.
Beru.
If Uncle Owen fucking he's got the time machine, because remember, it happened in a galaxy a long time ago.
Far.
So
There's no time travel in Star Wars. Don't. That's the one thing it's got going for it above Star Trek. No time travel. Once they start getting into time, mind you, they've added time travel to Indiana Jones. So yeah, Star Wars is probably next. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh no, time travel and Star Wars. They're going to do it. They've got nothing left to do to it.
You have got a point
Probably
where
James Bond as well. Time travel in James Bond. I mean, I never would have predicted back in 1981 seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark that they were going to do time travel in an Indiana Jones movie. But there it was. No, Dr. Jones, we got to leave Syracuse because you might upset the timeline. Shut the fuck up, bitch. We're in a different timeline, clearly. We've been spotted. There's two timelines in Indiana Jones and the whatever it was called, Dial of Bullshit. Clearly two timelines. I've got the poster.
yeah, no,
I mean,
it's
there's obviously another four
no,
off
we all
screen.
posters of like good films, like Time Cop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's at least 7 in Time Cop.
Wait, have you seen it?
No, I don't need to. I can tell there's at least 4 off screen and 3 on screen. I can guess.
No.
It's not closed loop, I can tell you that much.
No, it is. No, it's not like is that other film where fucking Doc Brown doesn't come back and be like Van Damme. It's your kids, Van Damme.
Most importantly, does he get laid? What shagger is it? How many shags?
No, one shagger in it because
One
it's his
shagger,
wife.
pathetic.
I told you it's his wife. His wife gets killed, so he's
I told you.
yeah he's like
Your
fucking really
catchphrase. I
upset
fucking
about it
told
and
you
that.
already.
So he has a fucking opportunity to go back in time and stop this shit. Like
You
Van
can't
Damme.
stop it. That's basic time travel. You can't stop anything. You're in the new timeline, or it's a closed loop. Either way, you can't turn back time. You can't change anything. That's malleable timelines, and that's breaking Clobby's law.
Well, he goes back in time and he
Oh, look, if
changes
it's
it.
malleable timelines, I ain't watching that motherfucker.
Well,
Screw
he does a
that.
Back to the Future, doesn't he? He goes back, changes the existing timeline, and
The
it
one
might be
thing
a
you
few.
can't do, you can't change the existing. Oh, don't. Are we doing this again? I thought even you got that. We all agree the one thing you can't do is change anything.
No, well,
Therefore,
no,
it must be multiple
no, I don't agree.
timelines.
I don't agree with you on fucking time travel. Most of it, I fucking disagree.
No, but the one thing we agree on is there's no such thing as malleable timelines. That's like your basic understanding. Anyone that doesn't get that isn't worthy of talking to.
Yeah, well, it can be
You
multiple
can't break
timelines. If you
Clobby's
do
law. There's no
destroy the
such
time
thing as a
machine,
malleable timeline.
well, spoilers, he fucking manages to fucking change the fucking past.
Well, then I ain't watching it. If it's malleable timelines, then fuck that movie.
Yeah, well, in a closed loop, because he fucking, as I say, he changes the fucking timeline at the end,
Well,
because
then
it's
it
a
must
happy
be
ending.
multiple timelines.
Well, it's a bit like
You
fucking.
can't break Clobby's law. That's basic. That
Well,
again.
fuck
That's the
Clubby's
minimum.
law. Fuck
Clobby's
Clubby's
law is
law.
perfect.
Fuck, it,
I'm not doing this again.
it's like Back to the Future, but instead of Marty going back in time and he didn't want to, and he fucks up and changes fucking history that then he has to change back.
You can't change history because otherwise you risk fucking preventing your own birth. And if you prevent your
Well,
own
that's what he does
birth,
when he turns invisible. But anyway, in this, Van Damme, he goes back
yeah.
to fucking deliberately change fucking history.
Doesn't
So,
matter
like,
whether it's deliberate or accidental. You can't change history because otherwise you risk preventing your own birth and thus invoking the grandfather paradox and
Van Damme don't
breaking
give a
Clobby's
fuck.
law.
He wants his fucking wife back.
You can't change history.
But he
It's a
wants his
different
wife
wife.
back. He wants his
Too
wife
bad
back.
she's dead. Can't change history.
Oh, well,
Clobby's
she's
law.
not. Well, she's not at the end of the fucking film. Spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it's Van Damme film, innit? He's not gonna go back in time and not fucking.
I don't care if he's fucking Jesus Christ. You can't break Clobby's law.
Well, Clobby, he's not Van Damme. I think you're Van Damme. fucking
I think you'll
outrank Scotty.
find.
Or is that
Well,
fucking Van
I,
Damme's a
I
fucking
fucking
time
told
clock?
you. No, Jens, I'm going to use your catchphrase on you. I fucking told you. Clobby's law is perfect. You can't break Clobby's law. That's the whole point. Yeah, the answer to the grandfather paradox isn't la 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 la. I'm ignoring the grand. Because what happens if you go back in time and prevent your own birth? I went back in time. I prevented my own birth, so I didn't exist. I was never born. Therefore, I didn't exist, so I didn't go back in time. So I did exist. That's Clobby's. Yeah, if you when you get to the point of the conversation where you have to explain to someone clubbing the law, that's it. Yeah,
Well,
I'll tell you what, that's it.
Van
I'm
Damme's a
leaving.
time cop.
Daytona's got 5 minutes. That's it. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah,
Understanding Clobby's law is your minimum barrier for entry. If you don't understand Clobby's law, then you
yeah,
can leave
I
me.
do. I do, because it's not even Clubby's law. It's
Right.
just a
So
grandfather
don't pretend that you don't. Just
theory.
have a
Which is,
conversation.
which Van Damme don't even go anywhere near his grandfather when he goes back. Because he said he goes back in
It
time for
doesn't have to
a
be
few
your
years.
grandfather, as I've already told you. It's called the past prevention paradox for a reason. There's no grandfather required. It's complete red herring.
No, but it's showing you can go back to your great granddad and it'll still happen. But Van Damme,
You
he only
can't
goes
prevent
back.
your own
He
birth.
only
You can
goes back
prevent
about
your
like
own
5 years or
birth. Who's
something.
doing the time traveling?
Because it happens,
Daytona.
it
Right,
happens
that's
like
it.
5 years
I'm done.
from
I
like
am
when the
done.
film's fucking set. So he only goes back 5 years. So he's not gonna do any grandfather fucking paradox fucking dilemma.
Well,
Because
he
you can
does
go,
if he. It's not a dilemma. There's no dilemma. You can't change time. I can't. This is the most.
you
This is like
fucking
page one of the
change.
book.
No, Cher can't change back time, even though she wish she could.
No one can. Share is simply one, but at least Share
A
gets
fucking
it. That's why it's
time
called
cop
it.
can.
No, he can't.
That's what the time cops
No
are all
one
about.
can.
The time cops go back
No,
in
you
time.
can't.
Well, I think you'll find
Wrong.
they can.
I think you'll find they can't.
Well, I think you'll
Copy's
find.
law.
Well, I think you'll find fucking 1990 fucking twos. Van Damme's time cop says otherwise. Mm. I don't think his mic's gone. I think his bottle's gone. He's not up for no time cop. Even though it's a great film. Shows you what happens when you're masculine as fuck. And your wife dies. But you're like, no, fuck that shit. I'm going back in time. Just stop that shit. Yeah, I don't think Daytona's coming on either. No, can't turn on the pot. Wrong one. That wasn't because of the time travel. All right. Oh, yeah. I think it was just probably just because got like shit to do or something. Yeah. Oh. Um. A very fortunate coincidence, though. Great thing for my internet to crap out. Oh yeah, isn't it? Fucking yeah. Say sometimes you might get fucking muted, and it could. And as I say, when I say oh you might it's not working, I'm not meaning it might not be physically working. I just mean like we can't hear you, and so fucking it could be the connection. See. Or New Zealand maybe's got no fucking jamming fucking equipment. They're like, oh fuck that. We don't like the captain talking masculine shit. You're talking about time cop? No, let's disconnect his fucking internet. We can't have people discussing Time Cop. And other people might fucking want to watch Time Cop. See how masculine fucking the Time Cop is. I'm a Time Cop. So, yeah. Probably go for another 10 20 minutes. Oh, because, oh yeah, the China shirt. Gotta be watching that. Because it's fucking streamed and that earlier on. I haven't watched it yet. So, yeah. See what's happening in China. Because now fucking Donald Trump's being sworn in and all this shit. Yeah, they might have like some fucking crazy shit they're doing. Oh, but talking about crazy shit though, apparently, Wes Watson, bring it up. Like, fuck it up. Apparently, well, I don't have to bring it up, fuck it. Apparently, though, Wes Watson, he's fucking reduced in his fucking price on the courses, online courses he fucking gives. Which they're like, I think they're like $30 a fucking hour. So if he gets like a few of them fuckers, but yeah, apparently with all the shit he's fucking been doing and that, probably people like, well, I don't want to end up fucking like Wes Watson. It's like when you're doing those fucking some oh, fucking thingy talks, life talk seminars, fucking yeah, life coach, fucking cinema, cinema, uh, cinema, fucking cinemas, fucking courses and that. Well, yeah, probably got like a few cancellations. Because he ain't probably fucking telling them all the roids he's doing. Like, if he was honest about how he's fucking made his money and that shit. Oh, well, oh, uh, uh, yeah, Captain. Oh, he says, that were a great 90 minutes, though. Scotty is now a proven liar. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Captain. Well, bet you're on that. Yeah, got 3 views. No, if one of those views is the toner, I've said use the link, the last link I sent you. Fucking, if you want to pop on, because I'm on Streamlab yards. I mean labs, not yards. So yeah, as you can see, by the way, I'm reading the chat. I'll just use this. So it looks a bit more fucking familiar, and I need it if I've got people on or fucking want to chat and that. So yeah, as I say, okay, where's Watson? Yeah, he's apparently, yeah, he's got no money apparently, because yeah, he was asking some bird he'd bought some jewellery for. He was asking for the jewellery back and that. And that Johnny Bravo, who called them all the pieces of shit. What? Well, he hadn't got no money because he's asking for the money back. That piece of shit. What are we doing? Well, he isn't doing anything great. I know that. Yeah, he was giving him loads of shit. Yeah, so he's fucking probably in a situation where fucking, yeah, he probably won't be able to afford good lawyers. So, yeah. Maybe that's why he's wanting to get all the money to get himself a good lawyer. Because fucking, as I say, oh, that last kick he does, there's no way he's going to be able to claim that being self-defense. So he's definitely going to get sentenced to some up, but what he gets sentenced to, depending on who's the judge. And if they want to fucking thingy, make a fucking example. It's a famous sort of fucking case sort of thing. Well, I say famous. It's one of them where it's fucking quite known to people in the fucking crazy YouTuber sort of shit. Who watches like people who fucking like show YouTubers doing crazy shit. That's fucking like fucking hell. It's against the law. Fucking, I reckon that is gonna be fucking found to be like, yeah, unnecessary fucking attack, especially when he's on the floor. As I say, they might have been able with a good fucking lawyer when he stood up, being like, yeah, well, fucking the size of him, he could have done damage and that, and so we didn't feel safe until we got him down. But once I got him down and started fucking lacing into him and that, then yeah, the fucking could claim like he was trying to get up, you know. But that kick that Wes Watson does at the end though, there's nothing he can say. It's like the dude was crouched over, probably in a bit of pain after the beating you gave him. There's no way you could claim he was in any you was under any fucking threat. So yeah, as I say, I think with that one, it's gonna be a case of like fucking you you'll see fucking some um punishment of somewhat. As not quite sure. What's going to happen like because depending how he acts and all in court. Because he starts acting like fucking he was in the right and that. Because in that situation, the judge is going to be looking. If it's a fucking um, an honest judge and that, fucking, they're going to be looking for a fucking remorse from him and that. If it's not an honest judge and he's he's just being told, oh yeah, fucking don't like sentence him, or it could be one of them where it's like, oh yeah, fucking do sentence him, depending on fucking what the powers that control the judge would want the decision to be. But if it's an honest, fair judge and that who's like, oh yeah, I'm just fucking doing it by the book, he's gonna look for some remorse from fucking Wes Watson. And if Wes Watson doesn't fucking convince the judge that he's remorseful and he fucking believes like he was in the wrong and that shit, then the judge is gonna fucking give him more fucking time and that shit. Or harsher sentence. Depending on like fucking what happens. Yeah, in court, so yeah. I don't know fucking when it's gonna be, but fucking it's usually fucking quite sort of like soonish from the accident and then or the incident, should I say? Uh, well, like 6 months anyway. You know what I mean? When I say it's soon, it's usually in about it would take about half a year, doesn't it? Depending on fucking because if he pleaded guilty, then yeah, it would fucking be done in a month or two or whatever. But I think he's gonna try and fucking claim self defense. But I don't know because I've been. But anyway, if he does, it probably might be about 6 months where they like be having to get up a fucking case against him and that shit. So, like yeah, the evidence is out there and all. So people seen what he's done and that. So that's another thing where the fucking judge and that or jury, depending if he fucking tries to go for a self defence fucking play court and then fucking as like a fucking jury and that. But anyway, fucking yeah. Saying like yeah, fucking in about 6 months or something, so fucking yeah. Oh yeah, but Johnny Somali or is it Somali? Yeah, but yeah, it probably just be after his case because like he's up in March. Like, yeah, as I say, I reckon he's gonna get 7 years. I said it from like when the fucking heard about destruction of business, how seriously fucking they take it in Korea or South Korea, should I say? So fucking I heard that, it's like, oh, he did so much shit that they're gonna have to give him fucking harsh penalty. I think just so to set an example of other YouTubers to say, if you're gonna start fucking, because if they give him like less than 5 years and that, then some YouTubers might risk it. Be like, oh yeah, well, you know, obviously they won't go as fucking crazy as Johnny Somali did, where fucking he deliberately pouring the fucking noodles, fucking, well, well, the noodle water that he boiled them with, and that. So yeah, that's it. I think they're gonna set an example. Say no, you don't fucking come here to South Korea and start fucking around like that. If you do, and you're gonna get 5 years or more. So as I say, I think he's gonna go down for 7 because he's got like a bus fucking. If I'm thinking, if I am wrong about 7 years, it'll be because it's fucking a low fucking estimate. I'm thinking if he doesn't get 7 years, he'll get more. As I say, so much fucking um, reports of him doing that shit. Because he might have got away with a slap on the wrist if he'd have just done it once and then fucking just done like normal streaming and that. Yeah, and then there was the thing with the fucking statue and all. Where even if you're fucking not aware of the statue's fucking meaning, because it was for like sort of fucking sex victims sort of statue and that too. But anyway, so but even if you don't know like you and that shit, still the shit he did and that is still seen as a bit offensive. So fucking, and then it's even more of it. So like, yeah, I think by now because John, much of Johnny's probably he ain't allowed to stream and that shit. But I think by now he's fucking probably fucking like wanting to get the fuck out of there. So he got a caught on that shit. So yeah. But anyway, I'll end the stream there and that shit. I think it's coming up to like the 2 hour mark. Captain says more YouTube beefs need to be settled via fisticuffs. Oh, I tell you, if you and the fuck, if you and fucking Scotty wanted to get in the ring and that shit, oh yeah. I think Scotty might fucking have a bit of a reach advantage. But he's side as fuck, so what would he do with that reach advantage? So yeah. Oh, I might start a fucking GoFundMe. Because like how much do you think would need to get you to flown at a neutral ground So we don't have disputes. In fact, yeah, I think it should be held in the UK, probably somewhere in the north. Loads of boxing clubs up in the north and that. Yeah, got one round the corner. So yeah, and you and Scotty getting in there with the gloves. So would need travel fare for both you and Scotty to come to England. Then would need fucking money to fucking hire out a ring. Then we'd probably have to need prize money because Scotty ain't gonna do it for free. Would need some fucking like a She-Hulk, fucking full life She-Hulk doll as a prize, and yeah, he'd do it. In fact, we'll we'll put it in his contract that he fucking win or lose, he gets a She-Hulk doll. Captain says, "How can he have a reach advantage as I am taller than he is?" Yeah, I always thought like Scotty seemed taller, but oh well, in that case, and if you've got the reach advantage, there's no way he's gonna fight you. After like get fucking Scotty could maybe come in with a baseball bat. Because he's got to have some advantage, or is he going to fucking fight you? Maybe if we give Scotty a green baseball bat with, with like fucking Tatiana's signature on, he'd fucking do it just so he could get the bat and the She-Hulk doll. But yeah. Wait. I'm gonna call it a night and that shit. End the stream here whilst we try and fucking get a GoFundMe for this fucking fight. Captain bases Scotty, but Scotty has a baseball bat, a green one. Just keep his She-Hulk fucking. Oh, a green signed Tatiana fucking whatever her face is. That yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Oh, and I'll be probably doing a stream next Tuesday, Wednesday, if not one before. So thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.